never see any fish, so we can see what is happening there.
Senior staff from the Ministry of Waterways and Environment, the principal principal environment officer, Senivasa. Ladies and gentlemen, pull up Nakatio. Very good morning to you all, and it's a pleasure to be back here in the chiefly village of Vuda, and want to thank the Turanga team Vuda for gracing the occasion. Sir, your presence here is a morale booster to all of us, and also signifies that you are with us in this journey to protect our environment, our biodiversity, our marine and coastal resources, not only for us here, but our future generations. When leaders like you, the epitome of our society throughout Fiji, rallies behind us, the people here in environment and young leaders, then we get the confidence that we are in the right track and we will succeed. This year marks the commencement of the decade of ecosystem restoration. And whenever the United Nations comes up with a thematic idea and thematic area, that means there's an issue. The decade of ecosystem restoration deals with restoring our planet's imperiled ecosystems, reversing their biodiversity loss, forms an integral part in halting and reversing the degradation of our ecosystems, be it here or around the world. The forests, the grasslands, the wetlands, inland water ecosystems, coastal to oceans ecosystems are all interconnected. What we do here, what we do up in the mountains, in the catchment, the logging areas, what we do at the reef, or what happens at the reefs, it's all interconnected. Sometimes people in the highlands say that we are not responsible or we are not contributing to the degradation of the reef system. That's not true. Eventually what happens in the catchments up there, the logging activities, agricultural activities, fertilizer applications, pesticide application, throwing of offcuts into the waterways, it ends up here. What happens in this village, the throwing of diapers, the throwing of materials in the drains, it ends up there. Or some of it ends up there. What happens alongside the roads, people throwing rubbish outside, out of the vehicle windows, it ends up there. Clogs up our waterways, causes flooding downstream in the floodplains. It also contributes to an unhealthy environment along which our children grows. So ladies and gentlemen, it is important that we begin our projects, programs by looking at our own conduct, our behavior, and also studies, research done not only here, elsewhere. Studies have clearly shown that there are a clear correlation between land-based ecosystem with the ocean health. While we say it, while we are seeing it, there are also scientific studies done that shows a clear correlation and causality between what is happening on the land and what's happening in the ocean around us. Few weeks ago, during a Talanua session here, right in this village, in this hall, with the Turanga team Vuda, with some of you here, your good self, one of the members sitting at the back in this corner, raised a significant concern from the community regarding the degradation or degrading condition of the reef system closer to your community. There was an argument put forward that it is due to the oil leakage, etc. The solution to address these environmental losses and threats rests with the nature-based intervention. that adopts a holistic management approach from mountain to ocean systems. One that is based on science. Sometimes we get carried away on emotions, but we always want to say that to avoid wasting our resources, to ensure that we get the right nerves of the biological resources of our ecosystem, we need to back our arguments based on science, research. During the World Oceans Day in June 8, 2020, the Ministry of Environment launched its Ocean Trust audit program at Bailey Bridge, Suva. It was quite revealing. We had put a trash net at the near the Bailey Bridge to collect all the trash that comes and goes to the sea. And then we collected it and audited it to see what kind of waste comes out of it and where it originates. It was quite revealing to see that there was all kinds of waste in there. Comes from the household sector, the industrial sector, commercial sector. And the volume of it was also mind-boggling. So now our ministry now intends to take up the issue that you have raised during our last meeting. The ministry looks forward to raising the much needed resources in conducting the studies, collating whatever information available based around the results, and deploy a long-term solution to the rejuvenation of this reef system that you have here. Rejuvenating the reef system would certainly result in biodiversity prosperity. Prosperity in biodiversity will also mean increased food security for your communities and the overall economic performance. We have long-term vision in mind. We want to ensure that the future generations are also be able to get these ecosystems and enjoy the ecosystems in the same state as we are doing so today. In recognition of these responsibilities, I have much pleasure in joining Turanganati Vuda to celebrate and launch this new concept called Mountain to Ocean, abbreviated in short, M2O, which will be led by the Ministry of Environment. The M2O concept adopts an all-inclusive approach that is science-based with the knowledge that all ecosystems are interconnected from mountain ridge to ocean. So the underlying theme of the M2O concept is that every ocean, every reef system is connected to a mountain. The entire, initially it was ridge to reef. We are now widening it from the mountain peak to beyond the reef, the ocean, within our EEZ. The M2O can provide a multi-benefit management intervention such as restoration of biodiversity, soil retention from degraded land, sustain clear water free from pollution effect, healthy habitats on both land and marine ecosystem, and therefore supporting both nature and people. The objective of M2O is to better the state of environment in our community through protection, cleaning, restoration, and rehabilitation of degraded natural resources, while supporting positive growth, stability, climate resilience, and at the same time, thriving households' livelihood. The selection of M2O sites will be based on the criteria guided by the Ministry of Environment through its M2O concept. The M2O sites to be selected will align to the underlying principle of biodiversity protection, ocean ecosystem restoration, river health restoration, riverbank and coastal protection, mangrove and seagrass restoration works, rehabilitation of degraded land through sustainable land use practices, coral reef restoration works, and proper waste management that promotes pollution-free practice. The Ministry of Environment will be monitoring and evaluating the M2O program implementation and will work closely with communities, private sector, development partners to support all restoration, rehabilitation works, conservation efforts, climate resilience for the benefit of all Fijians. The official launch of the MTO, Mountains to Oceans, concept in this village, Veiseisei village in Vuda today, gives it meaning and prominence as we mark today's launch coinciding with the initiation of the Coral Reef Restoration Program for Mbunda, as well as hold consultation for the development of a National Integrated Coastal Management Plan implementation. I wish to acknowledge the significance of the work and powerful outcomes this year will bring to the communities in Vuda area and many other communities around Fiji. And in doing so, I have great pleasure in launching the MTO program and the brand logo that would signify the importance of the work to be carried out. I wish to commend the initiative of the Vuda Reef System Restoration and the launching of the Ministry of Environment's Mountains to Ocean program. I want to thank the Turangan Team Vuda for being here today to partner with us. And it'll go in the history books that this program of M2O has been launched by in the chiefly village of Vuda and by none other than the Turangan Team Vuda, Vinaka. Thank you.
Andy. Muna minay tamari.
Naitamba hotavo. Naitamba hotavo. Naitamba. So one is a bottle.
De.
If you're